G'day trendsetters, John with Gravel Cyclist. I'm coming to you today from Santa Monica, California for the Tranquilo ride hosted by Bonk Breaker. This ride's supposed to be, well, Tranquilo as the name implies, apparently they regroup in places, but it's a mixed surface ride. So the first miles are along the, I think, Pacific Coast Highway, if I get that wrong, I'm sorry, and then it turns inland and goes up a long gravel climb where apparently the hammer goes down and they regroup at the top. That's what they say.
How we doing?
That's the man. Hey mate, thanks a lot for hosting this ride.
Yeah, happy to do it. Thanks for coming out.
Oh, my pleasure. It should be a fun event. I've heard nothing but good things.
Nothing but good things and plenty of good Belgian ale waiting for us and food when we get back, which is the whole point.
Giddy up. Right mate, thank you.
You bet.
The official description of the Tranquilo is an epic day of riding, eating and enjoying the best Belgian ale on the planet with an awesome group of buddies. Suffice to say, I was pretty stoked to be invited by Chris to attend this event and use the opportunity to indulge in some mass socialising on the bike. It takes a few kilometres of riding before the group of 75 or so riders rolls onto the Pacific Coast Highway. In terms of bikes, the group is a mixture of gravel, cyclocross, road and a mountain bike or two. The speed along the Pacific Coast Highway is brisk at times, with the group cruising along at about 25 miles an hour or 40 kilometers an hour if you're of the metric persuasion. There are at least 3 stopping or regrouping points along the route, which is nicely handled by the Bonk Breaker crew who fully support the ride. In this scene, we have turned onto Big Sycamore Canyon Trail, which I understand is within the Point Mugu State Park. The route gently climbs away from the coast with plenty of water and mud crossings along the way. If you don't enjoy getting you and your bike muddy, this probably isn't the ride for you, but from my perspective, it's a total blast. Ahead of me is Chris Lyman of Lyman Agency and our outdoor office, and he's the gent behind the 2019 gravel camp out of Calabasas, California. Check the video description below for a link to that ride video and more. Eventually, the trail becomes pavement and leads to this super steep climb that had everybody in the hurt locker. This climb led to some non-technical trails that made a rendezvous with the second regrouping point of the day.
Look at those legs. Can't take you anywhere. God.
Rest stop over, the group scales a decently steep climb that had me hurting just a little bit. Every good cyclist has a pile of excuses, mine being that I ascended 7,000 feet the day before in Santa Barbara, California, so my Florida-based legs were pretty knackered. No amount of bombing this descent would see me catching on with the main group, but thankfully I was soon in the company of some other riders also caught out by this climb. I believe this area is West Lake Village and Agoura on a road that parallels Route 101. We had a nice little group of riders who worked well together, including the organiser Chris and a bloke from Georgia whose name I forget. Sorry about that, mate. The right turn at the mobile petrol station is located near the third stop along the route, which sits at the base of the Frankenburg, a nasty steep dirt climb that requires low gears and plenty of power. I made a quick stop at the Bonk Breaker van before tackling this climb in my 30 by 32 low gear. The bloke in the Speedo is a legend, as he spent most of his days pushing people up this climb. Eventually, I ran out of gears and power and hoofed it. This donor drone footage from the 2018 Tranquilo ride gives you an aerial perspective of this nasty little climb. Eventually, I crested the Frankenburg and meandered along the dirt paths and tracks that run parallel to US 101. You don't see a busy road like 101 from this perspective too often, definitely something very unique and special to the Los Angeles area. There were a couple of muddy spots which caused a few problems for yours truly. Later, I would declog my shoes, and not even the organiser, Chris, was immune from a bit of mud clogging. My bike is a wee bit mudded up. Had to get off and walk that section, bloody hell. It's a bit glary, hopefully you can catch it. Got a bit of clogging action here. Declogging my bike, bloody hell. Look at this, will you? Back onto pavement, and this time the route takes us through Calabasas, California. It didn't take long before we climbed away from civilization once again into the heart of Topanga State Park. As we are close to Los Angeles, it's only natural that we ride past a music video that was being filmed. There are some pretty amazing views from up here, and it is difficult to fathom that this area is so close to Los Angeles. These descents were pretty tricky in places, and possessing zero travel knowledge, I wasn't exactly bombing them flat out. This view was worth the stop. Here I am riding past the former Nike missile control site LA-96. If I mispronounced that, please accept my humble apologies. I was nearing the end of the ride, but one tricky descent remained. I was going pretty well until this happened. As you can see from the GoPro footage, I hit the deck. That bloody hurt. And I think I cut my lip, but it could have been way worse. I feel okay. It's bruised behind the shoulder blades, but I'll live. Just going to go down gingerly. I think I loaded up the front wheel too hard with the front brake, and I hit a divot and catapulted over the bars. This is why you always wear a helmet. Consequently, I took it relatively easy during the rest of the ride, despite the fact the adrenaline was flowing. This isn't a pity party. Ibuprofen has been my friend, and I am recovering pretty well. I have been riding a little, so all is well. I would sincerely like to thank Chris and the crew from Bonk Breaker. This was a very fun ride, and the post-ride Belgian ale did mitigate my crash symptoms just a little bit. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Gravel Cyclist YouTube channel and don't forget to click the bell button to be notified of new videos as they are released to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.